Digital 410 Productions proudly presents the Waterman and D-Train Show.
What's going on, OG5?
Digitized live from the Act
Jump the
Computer
gun.
Studios in Cape Coral, Florida. It's the Waterman and D-Train Show.
There we go. I jumped the gun. What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up, Gordon?
It sounds like you're talking real smooth tonight, DJ.
Yeah, man.
It's that music.
What's up, Bill?
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, I just cut to the camera, so now everybody realizes Dave's not here.
I'm not Dave, man. I'm a little rounder, but I'm a pretty nice guy.
Yeah. So how you guys doing?
I'm good.
Gordon, how was your trip, bud?
My trip was great. I got a couple of things.
You're the reason for the season.
I am the reason for the season.
Now, to be fair to Dave, everybody, about what? You were here around the time, Bill. About a year ago or so, we were having an issue with constantly rescheduling the show.
Yeah.
And as a podcast host yourself, you know that when you're trying to build an audience, the worst thing you can do is not bring them consistent content all the while.
When starting a podcast, if someone said one of the hardest things in the world is going to be getting a group together, whether it's 2 people or 4 people, God, man.
Well, and once again, when you're trying to build an audience, the only way you can build an audience is to be consistent.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why we have the consistently inconsistent moniker.
Which is awesome, too, by the way. I love that moniker.
And so the reason Dave is not here is because he had something come up. And I know what the Dave fans are saying, well, that's kind of a dick move on your behalf, because when Gordon had to leave town and you rescheduled the show, and now Dave's not here, why can't you reschedule the show again? Well, the reason we don't, and the reason I going into this whole long line of stuff, is because back when we were having an issue with consistently rescheduling the show, we made a gentleman's agreement amongst the 3 of us, me, Gordon, and Dave, that we would only reschedule a show one time. Because otherwise, when you say, hey, sorry, OG5, we're not doing a show tonight, we're going to do it on Tuesday, then they say, okay, we get it, we understand. But then when Tuesday rolls around and says, sorry, OG5, we're not doing a show until Wednesday, they're more likely to say, well, then I got, you know,
shit to do.
Why should I schedule my time around you guys if you guys aren't going to be consistent? So it's not a slight on Dave. Dave had something he couldn't control going on in his life. And to be honest with you, if this would have happened Sunday and the show hadn't already been rescheduled, we would have rescheduled it. But the fact is, we've made a promise to our audience that we would only reschedule a show once. And this episode has already been rescheduled. And so I just told Dave, go ahead and take care of what you got to take care of, do your thing, and we will get together on Sunday.
That makes sense. That's a good plan. I agree with that.
Well, of course you agree with it because you're in my same damn shoes. You're the guy who's in charge of making sure your show goes on, and then sadly something happens with
everybody.
I can imagine having 4 people on my show. It's bad enough with 3.
Well, the logic behind it is if one person misses, 3 can still survive. But tonight we were in a situation where Chrissy and Mick...
That just doesn't work. Apparently it doesn't work.
No.
I just spent 5 minutes getting that drop, so I had to use it.
Damn it, did I say apparently?
Apparently Gordon failed his one job. What's your one job, Gordon?
That's a good question. You caught me off guard.
Your one job is to make sure we're recording a goddamn show, and apparently we weren't. So now I got to wait until the video's uploaded to download the first 4 minutes of the show to splice it to the beginning, because your one job apparently you messed up on.
AD Train?
I think this happened last time I was here.
It did happen a little last time.
AD Train?
It's a little late now. Thanks.
He
If you're recording that show.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that.
You didn't get the memo?
That I wasn't
I'll shoot
recording
you
the
a
show?
text next time.
No, just before we go live, say, hey, dude, is audition recording? And that's all you got to do. It's not hard. It's not a big thing.
I think this might be my fault, though, man. Last time I was here is exactly what happened. So
actually, it was my fault. We were recording when we were checking the levels, but then I got all caught up on recording the apparently kid. That after I saved the drop, I didn't hit record on the software again. So technically, we started out recording, but then I had to quickly go out and get the apparently drop because I had noticed over like the last 6 episodes we say apparently a lot on the show. And so I figured it would suit us to say apparently when it's time to do so.
So Gordon, I think apparently it's D-Train's fault.
So
Well,
how?
it's almost like him saying, "Why'd you let me not do that?"
And no one makes me bleed my own blood.
Exactly.
So how was the trip to Mormon land?
I tell you what, the trip to Mormon land was interesting this time around. I've gone up there a lot. This is the first time I stayed in the city of Cedar City. And when I was up there, it seemed like every location I went to, either it being Cedar City, the hotel. When I say Cedar City, I'm talking a grocery store, Smith's, the hotel, and then even all the way up at Eagle Point, which is another hour and a half
So
away.
I'm sorry, you stayed at a grocery store?
No, I stayed in the town of Cedar City. We did go to Smith's because we wanted to get some.
No, because you
basic
said
stuff.
Cedar City. I'm sorry, the grocery store. So I got confused. That's on me. Because
Cedar
I'd never
City
heard
is
of
a
Cedar
town,
City,
but-
Utah.
The interesting thing I saw was it was always in a group of 2 women dressed in their prairie dresses, fundamentalist Latter-day Saints.
Nice. Where was the 38 other sister wives at?
That's the interesting thing. There was always 2. And they were in their
Because the husband
purple-
don't trust them God on their own, they might wander off and leave and go find another family of
Exactly.
83 wives to marry into.
Exactly. So in the hotel, 2 of the maids, they had the dresses on. At Smith's, I saw 2. At Eagle Point Resort, I saw 2. And I was like, okay, are they invading? Are they moving up from Colorado City? And apparently,
Was it the same too?
well, and this is the interesting thing. These white girls in the prairie dresses, they kind of all look the same.
That's
Well,
Kinda racist.
Is it racist? It sounds a little racist,
religiousist.
but that's all right.
But I didn't like. I noticed them, but I didn't like. Oh my God, look at those weirdos. However,
That's
were
because you grew up in
staring-
Ohio and we were used to staring at the weirdos called Mennonites and Amish.
Exactly, but what was weird is it seemed like I was getting the hairy eyeball from them. I'm an old fat guy. I'm like, okay, do I look like somebody they know that may be part of the church? Thinking, what the fuck's going on? Or are they looking for new blood to
I'm sure.
extend that family tree out a little
Recruit.
bit more?
Well, I mean, when your whole belief system revolves around 23 chicks dating one dude and knocking themselves up, I'm sure that's a semi-small community, because if you don't want to have the religious aspect to it, you just move to California and call yourself polyamorous. And so if you're not polyamorous and living in California, then you're moving to Utah. And so that's going to be a smaller community of people willing to share wives and husbands. And like you kind of said, to prevent, how's the nice way of saying this? Well, I don't know. Inbreeding, you got to find some new DNA
New
to put in that bloodline.
One of the things I was thinking about, you used to have a saying, and I don't know if you still subscribe to this saying or even this theory, is all women are crazy. It just depends, what is the one you're willing to settle with.
To be fair, I didn't have
agree.
that saying. That's a Stan and Haney thing, and we have enough Stan Haney fans watching that if I even pretended to take that as my moniker, they would call me on it.
Dude, you were telling me before the show that was yours, right?
Yeah, I'm making stickers right now.
Well, my whole thing is these dudes, how can they handle more than one crazy?
Sounds like a goddamn nightmare.
Super
It
extra
does.
large libido.
Yeah, no. Even with that, screw that. I love my wife. Don't get me wrong, but goddamn, more of her? No,
How much do you truly love her?
I wouldn't multiply her.
You got her a chocolate man for Valentine's Day.
She said.
Oh my God!
She said to me,
really?
"She goes, hey, baby, I want a chocolate
Wait a
man."
second.
And maybe I took it wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Maybe she was looking for some
Maybe I misunderstood.
BBD action or something.
I was like, damn it, she liked it. Actually, it's still in the wrapper.
Did you ask her?
No,
You didn't ask her.
It's still in the wrapper.
You didn't ask her what I told you to ask her on Twitter?
If she wanted
Okay, what's the
donuts,
question?
If she preferred warm, soft, gushy dozen of donuts
She'd
opposed to a
probably-
chocolate man
she'd probably agree. She'd
that's
say
wax
yeah.
chocolate.
Again, might
I've
have
seen
been
that chocolate man.
misinterpreted.
He's like this tall. He's got like the red boxer
It's
shorts
not,
on.
It's not the size of the man that matters, D-Train.
It's the darkness of the
It's
chocolate.
the darkness of the chocolate, the sweetness, if you will.
But that's also pretty waxy chocolate.
It is.
It's not like you went down to the ice cream place that charges you $18 a scoop down in Fort Myers Beach.
It was Valentine's morning before work. I stopped
went
at
to
Publix,
Publix,
and
yeah.
I got flowers, a balloon, and as I'm walking out, this is my favorite part. I'm walking out with the balloon, and the flowers in my chocolate, man. And an old woman's passing me, and she stops me, and she goes, "Oh, somebody's getting lucky tonight." I'm like, "Dear God, lady! First of all, I don't think so."
The chocolate man's getting lucky.
Yeah, somebody. It's not me. Or you coming home with me? But it wasn't. It didn't pan out.
Yeah, it never does.
It was the weirdest goddamn thing. An old woman saying to me, "You're going to get lucky."
Hiya, doll.
Yeah, oh, she jinxed it.
I'm gonna
That's
come
all I'm
my
saying.
way and get lucky tonight.
Like, what's up, blue hair?
You don't have to give me a chocolate man. I just need a carton of Pall Mall non-filters.
Oh God. Well, it's expensive, more than the chocolate man would be.
But we digress from Gordon's tale of woe and the duplicates of the duplicates all around Utah and Cedar City, where the fuck that is. Continue.
Yep. I tell you what, so it was great. Snowboarding was great. It was nice to be back on the hill. You should try it sometime. Also, I did have an oh fuck moment on the way back.
Mark
So-
Marzika from the live stream says, that's why I have great luck with Eastern European chicks. They know I got the good food source.
There you go. So in Utah, they've got a 80-mile-an-hour speed limit on the
Nice.
freeway.
Jeez.
Nice and beautiful. So I had the car set on cruise control. It keeps it in the lane. Hell, you're barely driving at that point. The car's doing everything. All of a sudden, up in front of me, I see a old beater white Ford pickup truck take off from the emergency lane on the right, cross all the way over into the hammer lane on the left, and then swerve back.
Meanwhile, he's still in third gear, pushing 35 mile an hour.
Exactly.
Why don't people in this country know how to appropriately change lanes?
Well, I don't know if he was. This is the problem. I didn't, because at that speed, you come up on a vehicle pretty quick. So I don't know if he was already in the emergency lane trying to merge some fucked up way, or he dropped something while he was driving.
Well, I was turning left onto a 3-lane thoroughfare from the left side. So I was coming out of the parking lot on the left side, and there was a guy coming out of the parking lot on the other side of the street in the right lane. So I do what you're supposed to do. You hang a left, you maintain your lane, and then if you want to go to the right, you turn signal, you get to the middle lane, you turn it off, and you can get over. This guy just cuts across 3 lanes of traffic from the right side all the way to the left side, almost sideswipes me, and it's like, what the actual fuck?
Jeez.
How hard is it to change lanes?
It is Florida, too.
And if you're going to miss your intersection, go up to the next one and flip a bitch.
Yeah, this isn't California. Well, no, this isn't Ohio. This isn't Kentucky. This isn't Indiana. It's legal to flip a bitch down here. It's so legal, in fact, we have a nickname for it, thus called flipping a bitch. I wonder how that came to be, by the way.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's so funny.
It's because she gave you the directions to the store way too fucking late, so you had to
Back
turn around.
in 2005, when we were been in business for like a year and a half, Wi-Fi was a new thing. And all the stories that the media was doing around the country was called war driving. And that's something they used to do out in Vegas at the computer nerd thons. They would get their laptops and they would put a USB wireless adapter on it with the external antenna, and you'd put it in a Pringles can. And that way, you could, instead of the beam, and if your buddy here, JR, was here, he could tell you, instead of a wide beam, you're basically turning it to a laser beam, and they would point it at different casinos driving around town to see how many wireless networks, because wireless networks was still a new thing. A lot of people are just pulling the routers out of the boxes and putting them in, and
Right.
and they would have like a scavenger hunt to see who can hack into, quote unquote hack. They're not hacking, they're just logging into the default username and passwords. And so I had one of the local news affiliates reach out to me, and they wanted to do a story where we drove from Port Charlotte to Naples to see how many wireless networks we can get into.
Jesus.
And we did it. It was like a 2-day shoot. And the day they premiered it, the reporter who's now up in a bigger market did a live shot from my office. But when we were driving and doing it, it's like, go up here and flip it. He goes, you can say bitch, go flip a bitch. So, it's funny that, I just moved down here, and even the prominent local news guys,
They
like,
knew all
flip
about
a
it.
bitch. Yep. But yeah, I think we got in like 65 of them. It was
Jesus,
insane.
that's insane.
Yeah.
That was about 05?
Yeah.
Well, now you just drive down the strip and you can automatically get them on your phone.
Well, and at the time,
true.
I was getting, and after I did that, because and this was before I worked in radio, the local news community was so small that I was getting calls from other reporters, and every time they had an IT story they wanted to do. So I ended up doing like one for every news affiliate down here. And I finally called it quits when one of them referred to me not as IT guy, not as computer expert, in print and in their goddamn story referred to me as professional hacker Don Abernathy. That's when I stopped.
Put that on
must
your
I
be
declined
world's
doing
worst
that.
hacker.
I'd never done another local news story.
Put that on your business card.
For one, I'm not a hacker. I'm just a guy who connecting to wireless routers with the default username and passwords that anybody can get off the damn internet.
Yeah,
Professional
because a
hackers.
hack, you would have to. I don't know.
But once again, I digress. Let's get back to Gordon's Utah story. Maybe we'll get through it today.
No, so that was on the way back. Again, fantastic. If anybody's ever in the southern Utah area, don't sleep on Eagle Point. It is actually a fantastic place.
How was the writing?
The riding was fine. Because I am out of shape, I stayed mainly on the blues, and what's kind of nice is because of such muscle memory and second nature, that made up for my lack of health.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is the hardest part for me, the most struggle was strapping and unstrapping from my board. Everything else is
Dude, that's like saying you have a problem putting on your socks.
It's a pain in the
pretty
ass
much.
sometimes, though, man. Tying your shoe.
Welcome
fuck
to
that.
getting old.
Hey, you damn kids, get off the lawn.
Tied my shoes.
Do you think
they
I would?
fell Over.
Do you think my muscle memory would still work? It's been 20 years since I've been snowboarding. Do you think I'd remember how to do it?
I think you'd be fine. I mean,
I
the
will tell you
last
this: I
10
learned you
years-
can forget how to skateboard.
Oh shit.
I remember when we'd go from snowboarding to skateboarding because center balance was different. You'd
Yeah.
always have to be up the first day.
Yep.
So you guys should race. Go up there, do some snowboarding, and you two against each other.
I have my snowboard. I don't know where my bindings are. I don't know where my boots are. I don't know that my snowboard's like 20 years old, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sure the technology hasn't changed too much.
Strap in and hope for the best.
Well, apparently, the invite's always out there. I've got a full extra setup for D Train here. So.
Did you get any good getting good video in?
I got one shot. I haven't checked it yet for my GoPro, and I did something different. I actually put it on facing backwards
Mm-hmm.
to get the shot, of the hill, me going fast that way. But then I realized some point after I took it off, I ended up breaking that little buckle mount.
Yeah, it
So
sucks.
so no more video.
Well,
I wasn't
it's kind of funny because Bill and I were talking about this before the podcast, and we talked about it on a previous podcast, how, everybody thinks they can do a podcast, and yes, you can, but doing one consistently is hard. YouTube videos are the same damn way.
Yeah.
I've gone on so many out-of-town trips on these World War II reenactments where I have this, I'm going to get all this video, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But when you don't have a cameraman and you're in it, it's just like, oh, do I really
Break out
wanna
your cell
stop
phone
what I
for
wanna
like 30 seconds, then you forget.
You don't even want to do that. It's just like, I really wish I had the money to pay someone just to follow me around the goddamn camera because it's a lot of work. And then come home and edit all that stuff.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Gordon's been editing a video for like 3 weeks now. It's just,
I've got actually 3 or 4 videos. I've got.
it's just a lot of work, and people don't realize that.
sit
And
down
the
and work on.
and the big YouTubers, the ones who are actually monetized, they do have a staff that they go out and
believe
film
that.
it, and they just throw the raw footage and says, "Here, put this shit together."
And the other trick right now is just I don't know the editing program good enough to just make it quick.
Good enough.
What's that?
Good enough.
Yep.
So all in all, it was a good trip.
All in all,
No
it was a
nightmare stories to
fantastic
share.
trip.
Nothing fun.
Yep. You want to know how many times I fell?
Mr. Owl. 1, 2, 3,000.
I'm going to guess only like 3 or 4.
0.
Oh.
Well, that's because you grew up snowboarding in Ohio, and the saying is, if you can ski in Ohio, you can ski anywhere because you grow up learning how to ski on ice. It's all ice.
Damn.
It's all man-made.
But I really, my legs were in Big Sky. I mean, that was 100 days a year.
Yeah.
More in my first season than most people see in their life.
Now, for some reason, even though Bill has a horrible palate, we've discussed this at length.
Boring.
His palate is boring, but for some reason, whenever he's on the show, we talk about food. And I want to ask you guys a question. Both Bill and Gordon, I want to ask you this question. I went to a burger joint.
Okay.
It's a type of burger joint that has the name burger in the name.
Is it like a queen or a king place?
No, it talks about fries. And I think at some point they only had 5 employees, but that's just a guess on my part.
Gotcha. Now there might be more.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so I went in there and I ordered 2 sandwiches because Nugget was away. Nugget spent 2 days at a friend's house this weekend, so we were like kid free all weekend long, which was great.
It's a party.
And so I went to this place that had 5 employees at some point in time and ordered a burger, which they have great burgers. I'm not complaining about the burger. But I have a question for you all, and I posted a poll question on my Twitter
I
account.
saw this, yes.
So I went in, I ordered Carrie's boring burger because she don't like tomatoes. She don't like lettuce because it gets wilted. She just wants mayonnaise, pickles, onions, and cheese.
Hold on. How long does your burger sit there before it wilts?
Remember the conversation we were talking about at the top of the show about all women, yada, 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 and trying
Yeah,
to...
yeah,
yeah.
Okay,
Crazy,
so let's just fast forward through that. And
Noted.
so I ordered her boring burger, and then I said, hey, give me a double cheese everything. Cool. Went home.
Now what's okay?
Well, that's my question. At a burger joint, a place that sells only burgers and fries, and there's 5 employees at some point in time. Not a pizza joint, not a restaurant. When you say everything, what falls on your list of everything, Gordon? When it comes to everything on a hamburger condiment, what do you consider everything?
Well, a standard everything burger will be your mustard, your mustard, ketchup, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and pickles, and possibly some mayonnaise.
Correct. I would agree with that. Bill?
That sounds standard. I go with that for a standard everything.
However, being the restaurant, I'm going to play the game here and guess. You probably got some hot sauce, some A1 sauce.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I know the story, so I know.
Came home and feeling a little dainty, I decided to cut my double cheeseburger with everything in half, which was a horrible mistake. The thing quickly toppled over quicker than the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And
Which is still standing.
much to my dismay, exactly, there were mushrooms on the bottom of this burger.
Sauteed or fresh?
Mushrooms. I ended up eating the thing.
Right.
It turned out great because I went back to my no carb diet. I just ate the thing without the bun or the mushrooms. But my question and my poll question was, should mushrooms land on the list of everything?
That's a gray area.
It depends on all the stuff they got. Knowing this place, I would say everything is literally.
You know, Carrie thinks like you, and she likes to call me my BS, and she said that.
She said you did.
To which point I
everything.
said, well, where the fuck's the bacon? They have bacon there.
Bacon's
They
an
slept on the
add-on.
Bacon.
Bacon's a separate, an add-on for an extra fee.
I see where deep
Shouldn't
going.
a
If
mushroom-
Bacon's an add-on. Yeah. Bacon
Okay.
should be an add-on. And
Gordon and I both worked at
mushrooms.
Wendy's. Every once in a while, Wendy's comes out with their bacon mushroom melt. Now, when you go to Wendy's and you order a single cheese, everything, and they have the bacon mushroom melt on the menu,
That's true.
does the mushrooms end up on your single with cheese and everything?
It shouldn't. It damn well better not.
Because that is a specialty condiment for a specialty burger. And mushroom is known to split the room from pizza to everything.
Yeah.
Mushrooms is one of those things you just don't assume everybody likes.
That's a good
So
point.
where do you sit with mushrooms?
Not on my fucking
I
hamburger.
was just gonna say, I don't think you're a fan, are you?
I will eat them on certain pizzas, primarily Donato's Pizza from Columbus, Ohio. Those are the only pizzas that I can get at everything, and it actually tastes great. Usually when you get everything on a pizza, it's too much. But there's a great franchise in Columbus, maybe in corporate. I think they're in Kentucky too. They're called Donato's. Greatest thin crust pizza around. But no, mushrooms do not. And according to the poll, like 2 people said yes, it's fine. Everybody else said no. And but yeah, and I made sure to tag the place with 5 employees in that post.
This might come as a shock to you, but I stand with you. I don't think mushrooms that should be on a burger as everything because they're nasty shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just me though.
Disappointing.
I like mushrooms, but I usually don't get them on my burger.
That was, and I went there because I just.
Apparently.
I went there.
You had a hankering for a bunch of guys. You know what I'm saying?
I did, but no. I was in a hankering for a good quality burger.
Right.
I haven't eaten McDonald's in probably a year. Sworn them off completely.
That's a good call.
Congratulations.
When I'm in a pinch, I will go to a Burger King, to the old BK Lounge. They got the best BK Lounge in all of Southwest Florida, is right up the street here.
I think they kind of tore it down.
No, the brand new one up here on the. You don't know about the one up here on the corner of 41?
No, son of a bitch, I don't.
Dude, it's so nice. They ask you your name.
Oh yeah. There's one on Santa Barbara that does that. Threw me off.
No, this one's brand new. It's been open like 2 years. The best one in town. Fries are always hot. Food's always great.
She asked me she said, "Can I get your name?" And I thought she asked me if I wanted a drink, and I said, "No, thank you." And she's like, "No, I need your name." I said, "What?" So,
Yeah.
yeah, fucking threw me off.
But I haven't been that disappointed since I went to Nevermind Burger on New Year's Day.
Never mind burger.
Everybody talks about how great their burgers are.
Oh, okay.
They have gourmet burgers. Now, to give them credit where credit is due is perhaps maybe they buy all their condiments fresh from the farmer's market every morning.
Yeah, you don't need that on a burger.
Went there on New Year's Day. They had a limited menu. Okay, that's cool. It's New Year's Day. You guys are working? Fantastic. Can I get a hamburger? Yes, you can. Cool, I want everything on it. Only thing we have is ketchup.
The fuck?
Once again, maybe perhaps they get their condiments fresh every morning from the farmer's market. It's New Year's Day. Maybe they couldn't get their tomatoes, their lettuce, their onions, pickles, whatever. Or maybe the guy who preps all that shit in the morning just called in sick.
Hungover.
How do you prep?
Somebody's tomatoes don't slice themselves.
What's the name of the place again?
Never mind.
Never mind the condiments.
Well, it was good. It was a good plain burger with ketchup. But when there's 3 of you, and you ordered 3 hamburgers, 3 fries, 1 beer, and 2 sodas, and you walk out from us $55. Limited menu, full price. Carrie and I looked at each other like, we should have went to Chili's.
Yeah.
Never mind going to here again.
Could have got a steak.
God. I mean, now the problem is you made me want McDonald's. I want a Big Mac. Appreciate
See,
it.
I told everybody your palate sucks.
Yeah.
Have you gotten yourself a real taco yet at all?
I feel like I did. I just don't remember where. I know I've had the Tijuana Flats. There was a taco truck recently involved. I just don't remember the name of it. They brought it to work for me.
Have you at least sworn off the toxic hell?
I wouldn't say sworn off is the right word. I think I was there like a week ago, got a chalupa. It was a good time.
Well, now that we have talked shit about every restaurant in town, I guess we can move off that. I don't. Am I being unreasonable to think that mushrooms should not be on the everything list of a hamburger joint?
I don't think so.
No, you're right on target.
I mean, if you did once again, I don't even think if you did a nationwide poll of people who like mushrooms on hamburgers, you would even get 50-50. I'd say 60-40 for no.
Yeah, it's not a place for it.
No.
Fuck 'em.
That's just gross.
Straight up ketchup.
That's 12-year-old shit
that
right
really
there.
works is like a patty melt.
I bet you eat ketchup on your hot dog, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
What
What's wrong
the
with
fuck's
that?
wrong with
That's
you?
12-year-old shit, dude.
What's wrong with I also eat ketchup on my fucking scrambled eggs. I just put it on the side and I dip my scrambled eggs in there.
Dude, that's so
You
12-year-old.
want to hear something funny? So my wife comes from Chicago. Chicago is like an anti-ketchup city.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to the point where they don't even have ketchup in the store. They will not give it to you if they have it.
Jesus.
And she loves ketchup on her hot dogs.
She's going to get kicked out of the club.
12-year-old shit.
Well, she was, evidently, because she's living in Vegas.
She's on the run.
To quote the Beastie Boys, sicker than a hot dog with no mustard. That's all you need. Mustard, maybe some potato chips. Put the chips right on top there. Like that.
I've explored there. I've thrown the chips on the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's poor man stuff.
it is. I do it on pizza too.
Just a
Sometimes.
little relish. You can't sleep on the relish, you know.
Better than just ketchup.
God damn
Yeah,
it.
ketchup is just wrong.
Yep.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
I got a Netflix pick for you guys for this week.
Ooh.
It's been around for a while, but I just watched it. And I'll give you a hint. I liked it so much, I went out and bought a shirt, and I'm wearing it right now.
Is it the documentary about that gentleman?
Bill Murray stories.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
I have.
Gordon, I know you've heard about it, but have you watched it?
I have not.
I'm not one of these chive website people. I'm not a big fan of the Bill. Bill Murray, that's fine. I was a fan of his early work.
Yeah.
I didn't subscribe to the towel of Bill Murray until I watched this documentary.
If any of these stories are true about him, he's
Even if the
fascinating.
stories aren't true, what got me is people's hypothesis on his outlook on life and the way he lived.
That's true. They're all just guessing.
I love the fact that if remotely anything they say about Bill Murray and the way he lives his life is true, I was so inspired. I literally, as soon as the damn thing went over, I went on Chive and I got this shirt and I just happened to find the only one Bill Murray with an M1 helmet in it because, well, we were 20 of them in this fucking studio.
We get it. You're a reenactor.
So, fuck you. And so, this, for those of you who don't know,
Wrecked your train of thought.
on the Bill Murray stories is he goes around and does super crazy things, but not like crazy narcissistic, hey, look at me. He realizes that his name carries such weight that he can take 30 seconds out of his day and completely create a lifelong memory for somebody.
Create a moment.
Something as simple as walking into, which is kind of creepy, walking into a restroom when someone's urinating, putting his hands on their eyes and whispering in their ears, "They'll never believe you."
It's one of my favorite stories ever.
He went into a bathroom, guys pissing, junk in hand, put his hands on their eyes and said, "No one will ever believe you."
That's phenomenal.
There's another one where he showed up at a campus party, said hi to the host, looked into her kitchen, saw 2 sinks full of dishes, didn't make a scene, walked into the kitchen, did all the dishes, dried them by hand,
And
put them
hung out.
away, and did an Irish farewell. walked away into the night.
So is he all about just giving people a hell of an experience?
I think so.
That's one of the hypotheses.
Enlightening.
The other hypothesis is he started out as an improv artist. And so the other theory is he lives his life by putting himself in the ultimate yes and moment where he can't say no.
Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense too.
There was another great one where this college party, they're having this all-girl band play, setting up living room. And they walk out, they open the door, and Bill Murray's sitting in the van of this band. By no means a famous band, just 4 girls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lead singer, a bass player, and a drummer. And Bill Murray's working as their roadie. Once again, he doesn't come in and say, hey, look at me. He just walks in, doesn't say a word to anybody. He's setting up amps. He's plugging in stuff.
Yep.
He gets out the tambourine, and he's just sitting in the back playing the tambourine.
There was video of that one, too.
There was video of this one. And the host of the party was like freaking out because he had heard all these stories because Bill Murray lives in certain areas, and there's always these weird stories going on. And I don't want to give away all the stories. I'll just talk about this last one. And the neighbors called the cops, like they tend to do when there's a loud band playing. The cop shows up, and the host of the party goes out there and says, can I help you? And the cop's like, yeah, we're getting some noise complaints. Can you turn the music off? He's like, I can't do that. And they're like, why not? He's like, because Bill Murray's in there playing tambourine. He's like, if you want to go in there and tell Bill Murray he can't play tambourine, you go right ahead. I just can't do it. And the cops looked at him like he was drunk and walked inside. And on the video, you see Bill Murray go to the door playing tambourine. The cop's like, he goes, Bill Murray, and plays tambourine. And cops let the band go on. And he played the set, helped pack up, gave hugs, did the photos with people, and walked off into the night. But the coolest story, I won't give the whole story. I'll just give it the first half. He was at a sports bar like on a Wednesday, right? Watching baseball. He's a big Cubs fan. And it was a slow day, so the bartender was sitting at the bar with him. Bill Murray's like, hi, I'm Bill. And Travis like, I know who you are. I'm Travis. And they were sitting there talking for like a half hour. And as the place starts getting busier, more and more people come in. Oh, God, Bill Murray, can I get your picture? And it got to the point where like, Bill, can I get your picture? He's like, tell you what, I'm having a conversation with Travis here.
Yes.
So once that's done, I'll come meet you and, we'll get pictures. But right now I'm engaged in conversation with Travis. And so long story short, Travis had to leave for whatever reason. And Bill asked him if he wanted to go do something. And Travis was like, no, I got to go take care of my dog. And I got to come back to work later. And so Travis says he comes back to work and the bouncer's standing at the door. He's like, fuck you, Travis. And Travis like, what did I do? He's like, Bill Murray's here and he's looking for you. And that turns into a whole other thing. But basically, because one, he knows that his name has such clout and that what's a normal day for him, he can just create a memory.
Yeah.
And once again, like with the exception like one or two of most of them, just him showing up at a party and just chilling like he knows these people forever. Once again, he doesn't make a scene. He's not sitting there, unless he's asked to. Most of them, he's not holding court. He's not doing this, that, or that. He's just sharing experience with people and letting them take photos. And so that what's a normal evening for him is a lifelong, great story for everybody in it. And it's a great documentary. So go on Netflix and check it out. It's called The Bill Murray Stories. And if you're flipping through your thumbnails real quick, the thumbnail is it's basically a Sasquatch with Bill Murray's face on it because they never interview him in the whole story. It's all interviews and pictures and photos with the people it happened to, and it's their retelling of their story. It's great. It's a great.
So you're basically saying that Bill Murray blends into the background as well as Bill Murray can.
He tries to.
Yeah, that sounds about. It's a good
and he goes out of his way to bring happiness to people's lives and to put himself in a situation where it just blows people away.
That's awesome.
That's the difference between celebrity and us. Like if you or I try to do this shit and go into a party and help these girls with, we wouldn't make it.
Why is there a creepy guy in the kitchen door my dishes? Call the cops.
There's a Silent Bob looking motherfucker playing my tambourine. Get him out of here.
I bet you can play a mean tambourine.
I can hit the tambourine pretty well.
I know you're used to. Are you a guitar player? What's your weapon of choice?
Guitar.
Guitar.
Mm-hmm. That's about it.
Yeah.
I can fake a bass and do one drum beat. Maybe.
How can you fake a bass but play a guitar? Usually, if you can play a good guitar, a shitty guitar, you can play a good bass.
There's technical bass shit that I don't know, but if I saw someone playing guitar, I could pick up a bass and kind of match it. Yeah, just wouldn't sound fancy.
Just watch.
It wouldn't be no Flea or anything like that.
Yeah.
What was it that the musician, I should say, Todd Snyder had in one of his songs? You could play lead if you want to be a star, but the butts are all shaken to the bass guitar.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, most bass players I know though are they're bass players.
What does that mean?
Yeah, you just know them. It's like a drummer. They're
Basic.
Like, yeah.
I got a bass behind me. I'm a bass player.
Oh,
I'm not a
well,
good bass
basic
player, but I'm a
player.
bass player. You're not a bass player.
And then there's
Those-
lead singers. We
those
all
fucking
know their
guys.
problems.
I heard a great joke the other day. You know what the difference between a porcupine and a Volkswagen owner is?
God. No.
A porcupine, the pricks on the outside.
Damn it, I had a Jetta about a year ago.
I'm on my third one.
I love my Jetta. It was definitely a chick car, but I loved it.
Have any of you seen the new Joker?
Yes.
Yes, I just watched.
I just watched it too. Any comments, thoughts, commentaries, observations?
I left sad. I felt depressed after I saw it.
Okay, that was some people's complaints. Some people tried, it's just a mirror of the problems we're going through in today's society.
Oh, I didn't even look that deep into it.
Any other thing you guys noticed? I only had one gripe about the thing.
Joaquin Phoenix was way too skinny.
Well, that just goes to show how crazy of a method actor
Yeah,
he
he
is.
is a little weird.
I mean, you can't fake those rib cages when he's...
No, it was kind of disturbing.
The only problem is at the end, when they zoom in on his face, I'm not giving anything away because the part of the story has been shown in all three of the fucking Batmans. We all know about how Bruce Wayne's parents die.
Yeah.
Exactly, and the fact that
So, in this version, Bruce Wayne is 10 years old,
Yeah.
and Joaquin Phoenix is 40,
Solid 40.
45. So
Yeah.
much at the fact that when they zoom in on his face, he has white facial hair grown in.
Yeah.
So if we follow this universe timeline, when Batman grows up to fight his arch nemesis, the Joker's like 65.
That's a good
Out of the
point.
whole movie, that's the only problem I had. The fact, okay, so he's 8 here, so let's just say 10
Yeah.
years. We'll just give it 10 years, probably more like 15. So his nemesis, when he's rolling around at 28, is 65, and he still takes an ass.
Damn it. Yeah.
and there was a weird familial connection there somewhere that I didn't quite buy.
Well,
We'll leave it at
they
that.
Oh, yeah.
they presented the hypothesis, but then they quickly provided storyline to kind of show that that was a
Mental illness.
psychosis on the part of the person that claims that to be true.
Correct.
So they kind of, they set it up, and then it kind of said, well, that didn't happen.
Was it even necessary though? That was the thing.
Yeah. Just to bring the Wayne name into it, maybe.
Well, that, and it almost just, it's like they needed a little something different to add to the same story. I mean, obviously the origin story itself was different than most, but
Yeah.
relaying the whole Wayne part and the Bruce Wayne and all that, they almost needed something just a little different. Just like when in all the other Batman stories, Joker's one that kills his dad,
Yeah.
but in this one, it's not.
Who's your favorite Joker?
I think Joaquin Phoenix did a great job,
He did actually do a really damn good job.
but I'm gonna
He's
go on
in
a
the
limb
top
and say
two.
Jared Leto.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Couldn't even make it through that.
I don't know if it's a real tweet or not, or someone screen blasted his name. But did you see the alleged tweet from Jared Leto?
I don't think so.
So we know that Joaquin Phoenix got nominated for an
Yes.
Oscar, and so did what's his nose?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. So someone I don't think it's true, but the meme was it was Jared Leto's Twitter handle, and it was a picture of both Joaquin Phoenix and what's his nose?
Yeah.
In their Oscar nominations. Said, would you all quit sending me this shit?
Oh.
Basically talking about how bad of a Joker he did.
Oh.
Did Jack Nicholson even get
I don't
nominated?
know. I don't think that early on back then. I don't think superhero stories got that sort of clout. And
Yeah, they were more joke.
I don't think it was until recent 10, 15, the last, when the Marvel movies came out that Hollywood started taking the comic book movies as serious as they do.
Okay. So one more superhero thing. What was your take on The Boys?
I liked it. Clearly it was. I don't think it was originally an Amazon series because it was only 6 episodes, or was it 8? It wasn't a full
It
season.
wasn't a lot.
It was good. I definitely liked the whole aspect of flipping the whole superhero story on its head and making it completely different than what we're used to. Especially if you're like me, really, I don't get off on superheroes. I mean, I've seen half of Guardian of the Galaxy 2, but I don't think I've seen the first one, so I don't spend a lot of time watching them. But it was definitely good enough that I watched all 6 episodes, and then like the first 3 twice with Carrie when she started watching them.
When the first episode, when his girlfriend got annihilated, did that throw you for a second?
It did. It got me. I was like, what the just happened?
Because you didn't know what you're getting into.
Right.
You know, and all of a
Exactly.
sudden-
Well, the cool thing about it is because it was so recently done, there was a lot of modern day pop culture references, the Me Too movement going on, how women in Hollywood get treated, all that other stuff, and so it was kind of cool to see that take without shoving it down your throat. But it's definitely an original storyline. But I guess it was in fact based. I guess The Boys was in fact a comic series as well.
Mm-hmm. And the guy who did it, Kripke, if anybody watched Supernatural at all, he's the same guy that did that, and he had actually Jim Beaver, who plays a Robert Singer in Supernatural, as a Robert Singer in this. So it's kind of a nice little Easter egg there.
Oh, I didn't even notice
Robert Singer. Who was Robert Singer?
He was a hunter. So that would be the guy who plays Ellsworth on
Oh
Deadwood.
yeah. Yep. I got you. Ellsworth. Yep.
Yeah, but I thought it was some good Easter eggs they threw in there. So, yeah, I liked it.
They're
It
doing
was,
another season, I assume, right?
Oh, I'm sure
Yes,
they
they are.
will. I mean, they always have
Absolutely.
to.
Yep.
Do you guys watch? Since we're talking about TVs, have you ever seen Running Wild with Bear Grylls?
No.
Years ago.
They have it's back in production, and basically the whole storyline is they get actors and they go out and make them rappel down ropes and camp out and swim and climb and do this, that, and the other thing.
Hey, tough guy action star. Let's see you do it in real life.
Well, the funny thing is the chick who played Captain America, not Captain Marvel, she did it. Not a single complaint. She's rappelling, doing scary shit. I'm like watching all these with all these different actors, and they're all doing it. Now, clearly, they take rappelling classes before they go out and do these shows because they wouldn't just have you rappel and
Just go for it.
But out of everybody, the one person who was crying like a little bitch was, I forget who it was. He's like an ex-NFL player.
A
So you
big buff guy.
Big
It's like
buff
trying
dude.
to-
He was like complaining. But no, I'm not even going to. The whole reason I bring this up is if you binge watch it, you start to see the template. And every single show has the exact same thing.
Yeah.
The helicopter ride out there, the rappelling, the swimming. But there's always. Now, I'm from Kentucky. I'm from Ohio. I've spent a lot of time in the woods. I do a lot of reenactments in the woods. How often, when you're out on your nature hike, do you see a fresh corpse of some sort of animal? So fresh that it's edible.
Oh.
Not that often. It's usually stinky, pulpy
Yeah.
mess.
And missing
Every
pieces.
single episode, and on the few episodes this didn't happen, they end up eating worms or grubs. But there's either a dead bird, a dead duck, a dead sheep. There's always something somewhere that just happened to die.
Look, a dead chicken and biscuits.
And exactly. And I got to thinking.
There's some gravy over there.
Weird.
Now, Bear has admitted to going out and setting anchors on some of the climbing rails the week before, and obviously he goes out and tests out the trail to see if it's doable and all this. But I got to think, every single episode there's a dead mammal somewhere, just about. I'd say probably 7 out of 10 in the season, or 7 out of 12, there's a dead mammal that they end up cutting. Who's the poor production assistant whose job it is to go out and procure the dead mammal of the day? Schlep that son of a bitch out there and plant it in a situation where that they will find it in enough time that they can cut a leg off of it or cut the tongue out or the eye out where they can consume it and this A-list actor not get botulism and end up in a hospital.
Yeah, nobody wants to kill the actor.
Every single episode there's a mammal somewhere. There has to be a producer or a PA, somebody whose job it is to go out and procure dead mammals and plant them out in the wilderness for them to eat.
Hey, Tori, I know you're used to running for coffee.
Yeah, what do you
This
want?
one's
You
gonna
want
be
a
a little
like grande
bit
white
different.
mocha, hot, extra shot?
Nope. I need you to run over a coyote.
Do what
with your
now?
Car.
First off, where am I
going
gonna
to
find a
over
coyote?
coyote with your car?
Okay, wait a minute. You are aware I'm a vegan, right?
Don't care. You want your job, right?
And you are aware that I just got my 20th year card-carrying PETA member?
Don't care. It's the business.
You
gotta
realize
run
you
over that
guys
coyote.
pay me minimum wage.
You want to work in Hollywood?
Uh-huh.
You
Hashtag
need
me
to run
too.
over that coyote.
Can I, perform oral or something instead?
I'd rather blow you than buy a goddamn coyote.
Well, after you're done performing oral, I still need you to run over that coyote.
Yeah, you can still do it, but no worries. No
Last weekend you
guarantees.
had me get a sheep. Now I got to find a coyote.
Different reasons.
Yep. So I need you to drive out to the Mojave Desert. I don't care how long it takes, as long as you're back by tomorrow.
Well, now that
Yeah,
I think of it, my
16
Prius doesn't make engine noise, and so it's probably easy to catch a coyote off guard, especially when he's chasing after that Roadrunner.
Just gonna say this is gonna
So I could probably make that work.
Here's the trick.
So after I get
You
the coyote,
can't
what am
hit
I-
it
what-
hard enough.
Let's do
You
what
got to
now?
hit it softly so it looks like it's intact.
And after I run over the coyote with my Prius, what do I do with it?
I need you to put it in your trunk.
Do what now?
You got to put the dead coyote in your trunk.
But that's going to leave stains. Aren't we
Take some
sponsored by Yeti? Can I get like one of those Yeti coolers and put it in there?
Nope. You got to get some plastic from Walmart.
But the shoot's not until Thursday. When do you
I
need?
need you to get some plastic, some baling wire, and some duct tape and a shovel.
turn into Dexter.
Okay. And then what?
You,
Where do I bring it?
You're not going to need the shovel,
Okay.
but you're going to bring it back, and then you
Mhm.
need to scale that cliff over there, that 400-foot cliff, and put it right
Wait
at
a
the
minute.
top.
I'm looking at our shooting schedule. Our next episode, we're taking Callista Flockhart out to Alaska. How am I supposed to get this? Wait a minute. Are coyotes even indigenous to Alaska?
I don't know. I don't care, but you just got. This is a challenge I'm giving you, and you just got to make it happen.
But in a week from now, we have Tucker Carlson going down to Hawaii. What animal am I going to have to get for that? You know, it's not my job description to procure dead mammals for this show.
Hey, I need a new PA.
Son of a bitch. Okay, I'll do it.
All right, there you go.
Insane. And that, my friends, is how on every single episode of Running Wild with Bear Grylls, there's a dead mammal for them to consume. I think the last episode there just happened to be a lamb in quicksand, or like in the bogs of New Zealand or some shit.
Damn.
And then the one they were up on these cliffs, and they got to make it look natural, right? They got to make it look like this creature came to its own demise. And there was one where they're pretending like they're gonna. There was one football player, so he's a running back, right, or whatever. And so their whole thing is, let's go tackle this goat. And so they go chase after the goat. The
We're
goat,
tackling Tom Brady. What?
the goat goes off scene, and then you hear where the sound guy back at the studio mixes in a horrible sound, and then they
The
cut.
Foley guy.
And the Foley guy's putting in horrible sound of a goat finding its early demise. And they go and there's a smear of blood down these rocks, and the goat just happened to fall. Here's a sure-footed goat in its natural environment who's running from Bear Grylls, and this all happens off camera. It fell 50
Balls.
feet, and so they make the football player rappel down, hook a second line to this thing, and drag it up, and there's blood smeared all. So not only did Lawrence, the PA, actually have to take the goat up there, but then he had to get like a
Drop it.
sponge and smear it on the rocks and make it look like it died naturally.
God.
Hey, Lawrence.
Yeah.
See that goat over there getting close to the cliff?
Mm-hmm.
I need you to run and push it off.
No need.
Not on camera.
I've
Not on camera.
gotten I've caught on to your game, and I looked at the shooting schedule, and so yesterday I went down to a local farm to table goat herding place, and I told him I was buying it because we know somebody who needs goat's milk all the time because he makes pizzas. But yeah, I actually procured a goat and killed it myself, so we'll plan it before the star gets here.
But that goat's black, and the one that's on the cliff is white.
We'll fix it in post. It's called Photoshop. And if you have a white goat, that's like the perfect goat to Photoshop.
Goat ends up looking like a cow.
I don't know. It's just when you sit there and you binge watch, you pick, especially someone who's been in radio and who's produced stuff and realized what you need. It's like, oh yeah, somebody's job. There's somebody on that staff has to go out and
That's a shit
procure
job.
animals and then plant them out in the wild.
Who was late today?
That's it. It's punishment each week.
No, and because it is a Hollywood produced show, that person probably has to do it. There's probably like a inspector around, they probably have to go and make sure
Heat
they
is
put it on
involved.
ice and get it within 24 hours of the shoot, and they probably actually have it in that Yeti cooler like 5 minutes before they shoot that scene, and then they plan it.
Well, not only that, they're probably, when they find a chicken, they're probably not eating the chicken they killed. They probably went and got like KFC or something like that.
Well,
And
no, they don't censor the removal of the eye and or the tongue.
I watched
They
that
actually show them
anyway.
cutting into the animal. And then every time the said part gets put into the backpack of the celebrity.
But yet a little titty is a no-fly.
Nope. Well, it used to be no ass crack, but now they don't tile out the ass crack, because I watched a lot of Naked and Afraid, and
They just get the monkey, right?
well, no, back when Naked and Afraid first came out, they actually had to tile out the ass crack. Now they don't, and so they just tile out the front nudity.
My time.
Unless you have-
Nudity in the back sack, right?
Well, I was gonna say, unless you have a very well endowed dude, then in the back, sometimes they do have to tile out below, but down by the knees.
We've come a long way since Nipplegate. We really have, I think.
Haven't we though?
Yeah,
Haven't we?
little butt crack is fine.
So I got one more restaurant story, but I'm not gonna slam this one. We didn't have nugget this weekend, so Carrie and I went out to lunch, and we went to a local neighborhood type place.
So was this a weekend that you could pull the famous Bill Porky Pig around the house?
Ooh.
No, I don't even Porky Pig it. I just go full buck naked.
Ah,
Yeah.
I'm
There you
not
go.
that brave. Too round.
You got Dicky Doo disease.
Yeah. Plus, Publix gets mad at me. They're like, you got to put some clothes on. You can't do that.
What is Publix walking around your house?
I'm walking around Publix. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying
You got to
I walk
shoot
out,
your
houses in
shot,
Publix?
man. You got to shoot your shot.
but anyhow, so we walk into this restaurant, and the waiter's looking at us when we walk in, and they sit us, and we're waiting a few minutes for our drinks, and he comes up and he goes, "Have you guys lived in this town very long?" And I was like, 18 years or so. He's like, "You guys look awfully familiar." I was like, "No." I said, "My daughter used to work here." "No, that ain't it. I saw you guys when you were walking in. You look awfully familiar." "No, I don't know." So we went on and about your meal, but what do you do in that situation? It's like, do I just make assumptions, or maybe you know me from YouTube or the radio? It's like, no, don't know you, dude.
I don't know what I would say to that. I would probably be a little bit of a smart ass. I'd love to say, hey, I do porn, just to screw them with them, but I wouldn't say it. I would love to think I would.
I don't know. Seeing some of that stuff, it's not too far out of bounds.
You saw the website? God damn it.
God don't need damn. He can walk on water.
I don't know how to react to that.
So what have you and the friends over at the Unsupervised podcast been up to lately?
Same old shit. A lot of dick and fart jokes, a lot of good humor, a lot of good times, except for tonight when everyone couldn't make it. So you get stuck with me.
You couldn't green screen them in?
I thought about it, but once I give them the option to do this whole Skype thing, they'll stop showing up.
I was concerned about that when Dave was doing it. He did it once or twice remotely.
Like, I won't see him anymore.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to make this a
don't set a
reoccurring issue.
precedence.
You're right.
Yeah.
Mick wouldn't know how to work it, though. It'd be all screwed up. And then JR obviously knows tech, so he'd be fine. And Chrissy would just be home drunk, so it wouldn't matter.
I've got the perfect excuse.
Well, yeah, you're a distance, man. That's a hell of a drive every week.
So you guys have been playing with the idea of doing more live streaming and stuff like that.
Yeah. I can't decide if I want to do it or not, to be honest with you. I'm like, I like the idea. I love the idea. We have the cameras. We got the shit. Might as well try it.
Do you guys still get nervous before you go on do your show?
If we're live, yeah. But the way we do the show, nothing's edited out. We just hit record and go for it. So it'd be the same thing. I might screw up and say someone's name I shouldn't, but
I thought you only did that in bed.
I do. I've tried. I'm like, oh, Mona.
Steve.
Oh,
Steve.
Oh, Steve. Why
Your wife's
Steve?
like,
You
call
know,
me Frank,
I
bitch.
know a lot of Steves. I don't need Steve thrown in there.
Steve's my go-to generic guy name.
I use Jeff.
Jeff.
Jeff's like my fake name, too.
Yeah. I always go with Steve.
I got to remember that. Damn it. That's all we've been, man. Just
But no, I was thinking about tonight before you guys got over here. And probably because we do the show live, is I always still get a little butterflies in my stomach before we go on here.
I could see that. That makes sense.
And I think it's a good thing, because I think once that goes away, you're just going to phone it in.
That's what we did. My saying was back in the band days when Mick and I were always playing shows. Once the fun's gone, you don't get that little nervous thing. You're done. And that's true. When that happened, he stopped playing, and then it happened for me, and I stopped playing.
You know, and I hear a lot of famous actors and comedians say the same thing, or musicians. You know, if
Yeah.
you're not nervous, you don't get that feeling, you're done.
Yeah.
You're
Hang it up, boys.
Well, I mean, and it makes sense too, because if you're nervous for one reason, and that is you're concerned about what the audience is going to think.
You want it to go good?
Yeah. You want to present something that the audience is going to at least moderately enjoy. I mean, this is free, so well, what do you want from us, people?
Yeah. Laugh a little. That's the goal.
Now, if you are an OG5 member and you're on Patreon, you know, I pay you guys off with free stickers and exclusive content like the What's in Your Head podcast. So if you haven't done that, go to d-410.com, click on the Patreon link, and sign up for the $1 a month plan. I won't beat you over the head with the $3.50. Or if you want a free t-shirt, do the $7.50 a month plan. But I will say this about that. Regardless of what tier you sign up for, with the exception of the free t-shirt, you get access to all the same stuff. It's not like, well, you don't get to listen to this the exclusive podcast because you only pay $1. You got to pay the $3.50, and you don't get access to the exclusive videos unless you. No. With the exception of the t-shirt, everything we offer, the exclusive content, the OG5 stickers, all that stuff, it don't matter if you sign up for the $1 a month plan. Just sign up and you have access to it, and it helps. It helps a lot. Ask Morgan Long. He's sporting his fresh OG5. Hey, Gordon, you want an OG5 sticker for your car?
Sure.
What color do you want?
Not black. I've got my car's dark. I'd like something to stand out a little bit.
Yeah, I guess that would help in the marketing aspect.
Yeah, maybe white. Really make it pop.
White would work. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I created a new logo because when I had the last logo, I was complaining, well, it looks like it says the Waterman Show and D-Train.
I kind of thought that.
And so I made a new one, and I incorporated the consistently inconsistent. And I made.
To be fair, D-Train does have a learning disability.
I do, but Bill's used to that because Mick has one too.
Yes, it's true, 100%.
So I made this to put down yonder, but because of the waves, I'm thinking about one, making this a little bit bigger, but two, maybe put it on plexiglass so that it's straight.
There you go.
Maybe put some LED lights behind it or something. But yeah.
Oh, that'd be pretty badass. Little box with a little light on it. That'd be great.
Yep.
Do a blue light.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, no, I was thinking about like a blue LED. I actually had an LED light behind that Coke sign up on the wall, but I left it on the battery.
We need to start our own podcast called Goddamn Marketing Geniuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that with the blue light idea.
Broke ass goddamn marketing genius.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're not at dozens of dollars virtually over the course of a few years.
We're such geniuses. We're still broke.
We're such geniuses and such marketing gurus that we're 53 minutes and 7. Actually, no, we're probably like 58 minutes, but Gordon forgot to tell me to record the first 4 minutes of this podcast. And we haven't told you that this episode of the Waterman and D-Train show is brought to you by our friends at Act Computers. Act Computers has been providing IT solutions for all Southwest Florida since 2004. And right now, they want to help you protect your peace of mind. So give them a call at 239-283-1120 or go to act-capecoral.com. Say the word podcast or email the word podcast, and they will hook you up with data at 7 cents a gig per month for the entire year 2020. You can back up all of your important stuff, so you don't have to worry about hard drive crashes. You don't have to worry about your stuff getting encrypted. Gordon knows somebody that happened to. You don't have to worry about your laptop getting stolen. All of it's safe on the cloud, so if something happens to your hard drive, your computer, what have you, and you have to get a new one or a new hard drive, you can download all of your data and have it back safe in your belonging in no time flat. Well, that's a little bit of life. You have a bunch of it. It takes a little time to download it, but it's still safe. So give them a call at 239-283-1120. And I know you're saying, hey, I already have data backup, but how can I help you by using your sponsor? Give Act Computers a call at 239-283-1120. And as long as you have a working internet connection, they can log into your computer and help you with all of your issues and get you going. For example, are you an old school guy who uses Yahoo? And for some reason, Yahoo stopped working on your Outlook? Well, that's because in order to secure their servers, now Yahoo requires you to generate a password specifically for your third-party apps, such as Outlook, which isn't hard, but it's a hell of a hard pain in the butt to find it in the security settings in your Yahoo. So little things like that we can help you out with, too. Give us a call at 239-283-1120. That's Act Computers.
And I am one of those guys that still uses Yahoo.
I saw my Hotmail. Actually, no, my Yahoo finally got shut down because I didn't go in there and check it to delete the email. Gordon, are you ready to do the news?
Let's do the news and opinions.
Joining us now from the Digital 410 West News Desk in Las Vegas, Nevada, Gordon Abernathy.
Gordon, how you doing tonight?
Fan-effing-tabulous. So, do you know about the durian fruit?
Mm-hmm. I learned about the durian fruit from watching well, what's that show with the bald guy who eats nasty stuff that was on back in the day?
Andrew Zimmer.
Yeah, Andrew Zimmer. Durian fruit is a fruit from Taiwan or one of those countries that allegedly smells so bad. I think part of this is lore to move more fruit to stupid tourists that they claim some hotels make it illegal to open it in their building because it smells so bad.
Jesus.
Well, coming in from the AP, evidently the smelly fruit is such a big deal that Hawaii police say that thieves took $1,000 worth of this pungent fruit.
Why?
Clear a room.
I guess use it in bank robbery.
Yeah, that's a smart plan.
It's got to be something that way. So police in Hawaii are investigating the theft of fruit valued to about $1,000, which is obviously including the durian, which is known for its very powerful and offensive odor. 2 men entering a property in Hilo on the Big Island removed 18 durian and other types of fruit on the night of February the 1st, according to the Hawaii Police Department. Authorities released surveillance cameras images of the 2 suspects and asked for the public for additional information. I'm sure all you got to do is smell your way there. And that could lead to the capture of the fruit bandits. So that is great. They compare the durian fruit to moldy cheese, rotten onions, dead fish, and far worse. I don't know how you can get far worse than those together, but evidently you can.
Rotten fish, asshole.
That's very specific, D-Train.
Hey, like you never smelled rotten fish, asshole.
I'm not saying I haven't. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, you live in Florida. You probably smell that everywhere.
You do a podcast with a guy who shits in a bucket in the back of his
only in
lawn
emergency
care
situations.
Truck. Oh, so a Florida man story for us out of Port St. Lucie.
Know where that's at? Not too far from here.
Well, so a Florida man. Well, let's just put it this way. We all have heard about emotional support animals.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard about an emotional support trump?
What was that?
Trumpet?
Nope. An emotional support Trump cutout.
I know where
I don't do any Trump
one.
news, but this one we had to. A Florida man who is undergoing kidney dialysis 3 times a week is upset that he cannot bring his life-size cardboard cutout of President Donald Trump.
I say if he buys a seat, he should be able to do what the hell he wants with it.
Yeah, well, he says he needs this for emotional support.
Fold it up and bring it somewhere else.
One Mr. Nelson Gibbons, let me rephrase that, Nelson Gibson, said that his family can't sit with him during the 3.5-hour treatments. So to help, he thought bringing in a picture of Trump as a comfort item. It feels, according to him, it just feels like bringing something from home to make you comfortable. Well, in my opinion, yeah, you can find something else.
Yeah, Bill found a comfort item. For some reason, he's in here fondling my microphone shock mounts. I
love these guys. Yeah, I love these things. I'm amazed by it. Sorry.
Gordon's got one too. See
yeah, look at that.
It is right up there.
Yeah.
So he said that originally nobody complained about the photo. Next, he started bringing in a small cardboard cutout himself, standing next to Trump in the photo. Nobody complained about that small cutout. And Gibson told the station that some people took some photos with it. However, on Saturday, Gibson decided to take a life-size cutout of Trump
because he's looking for attention. The fact that he's going on the news saying, "Well, when I brought in a photo, no one said anything," which I didn't like. So then I brought in a bigger photo with me standing next to him. No one said anything, which I still didn't like. So what am I going to do now? Bring in an even bigger cutout. You're a dick. Shut up. You don't need that. Yep. You're just trying to ruffle feathers.
And he did. He triggered some people with the life size. So he's turned this into an issue. And they told me it was too much and this was not a rally. So needless to say, he's trying to figure it all out, and he's made it onto this podcast. And
why don't he prove his point by his next flight flying with a cutout of Hillary or Bernie Sanders?
Ugh.
And see how many complaints that generates. Probably won't complain
I don't think.
Yeah, so it sounds like he's now been skipping his dialysis treatment because, he can't bring this.
Oh, that's a smart plan. Jeez.
I'm going to die because I can't bring my Trump. This is bullshit, and I feel discriminated against.
Take a picture of it. Keep it on your phone.
Enjoy your kidney failure, asshole.
Exactly. So moving on to Lakeland, Florida.
Now, hypothetically, no, I didn't say apparently. Hypothetically, if the doctor found out that you kidneys failed because you didn't go to your dialysis because you couldn't bring a cardboard cutout of the president with you, when clearly when you flew the first time with a picture, you were emotionally supported well enough. You completed the flight. And the second time, apparently, you did it with an even bigger photo and you were fine. Now, all of a sudden, it's an issue. So if I was the doctor or in charge of the donor list and your name shows up on my list, you're going to the fucking bottom because you voluntarily allowed your kidneys to fail because you wouldn't take a flight without your cardboard cutout, even though you were able to do so with a photo.
That makes
He
sense.
would probably fall into he's an asshole.
Yep.
All right. So moving on, we're staying in Florida, Lakeland, Florida, to be precise.
Been there.
From the AP also. A Florida city shut down the section of a lake Thursday afternoon after receiving reports of...
Snakes.
Can anybody guess? You got it.
Breeding snakes. They're getting it on.
Yep, swarming snakes. Turns out the slithery creatures are just celebrating Valentine's Day a little early, according to this article.
Banging snakes. What kind of
the
snakes
Lakeland-
are banging?
Yep.
The
So
water
Lakeland
moccasin? Copperhead? Black racer? What kind of snakes you got there, fella?
Well, we're going to
One-eyed trouser
dig a little
snake?
deeper.
Bangin' Snake sounds like a good band name from the 90s.
Banging snake.
Yeah.
Snakes plural or singular?
Plural, probably.
Ooh.
Bangin' Snakes.
Banging snakes.
Yeah, if it's a chick band, it may be called Bangin' Snake. A Lakeland Parks and Recreation Department wrote on its Facebook page that a group of non-venomous water snakes congregated to mate near the traffic roundabout. Okay, roundabouts are already hard enough for people to navigate for some strange reason. I haven't figured that one out yet.
I can't understand.
I think they're easy.
So
Yeah.
I didn't hear it clearly. Were they near the roundabout or were they actually in the road?
They were near the roundabout.
Just
And it,
banging.
it included one photo of the lake shoreline and a close-up shot of a brown snake nestled in the leaves.
Excuse
Yeah,
me,
you're sneaking
Mr.
up.
Florida Fish and Wildlife Officer. My name's Steve. And
Yeah,
I'm
Steve.
I'm in the import-export business.
Okay, Steve.
And I understand you got yourself a banging snake issue.
You've got my attention, Steve.
What if I told you I got a line on cases of mothballs? Now, I don't know if your grandma ever told you that snakes aren't into mothballs. And I see you got a nice drainage ditch there. So what I propose, if you see fit, and of course if there's budget money in it for you, I can get a trailer from Texarkana within 24 hours full of mothballs. Got a great driver called the Snowman. He can get them things down here in no time, lickety-split, flat, and we can get rid of all these banging snakes. And you know what the best part about mothballs are, Mr. Florida Fish and Wildlife Officer?
What is that, Steve?
They're biodegradable. So once we put them down, we ain't got to pick them up. And by the time the rains come and wash them all away, the snake banging season should be over. You ain't got to shut down traffic. You ain't got to clean up the mothballs. And from what I understand, it'll only have a minimum environmental impact. But we'll keep that between us, the boys. So what can I put you down for? 2 semi-load?
I got a question, Steve.
Sure.
I got a concern. I mean, we know that swamps already smell.
Hey, I
pretty
got a
good.
thing. See ya. You start asking question and
They're
import
out.
export Steve, he's gone.
He
He's
runs.
gone. He's on to the next.
He's got things going on. He don't stick around for questions.
Questions are too much questions.
And good for you who picked up on that Eastbound and Down reference right there.
Very good. All right, but
Not
yes,
the TV
so
show, the
this is
song. We're
normal
talking
shit
Smokey and
basically going
Bandit
on.
here, people. Go ahead.
It's basically normal stuff going on, and they're not invasive species. It's native snakes to the area. Now, if there's a bunch of ball pythons, that may be a different story.
Yeah, Florida would just sell you licenses. Every year now we have a Python gate where you buy licenses. Well, actually, when you buy licenses, they pay you for bringing in snakes. It's kind of like they do in Louisiana with the nutrient. The nutrients are like giant guinea pigs.
Yeah.
And they're invasive, and so like you basically tag one with your car and you take it down to the old agricultural center and they give you like $5 per.
It's like recycling bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so down here,
$5 per pelt.
So
nutria pelt.
down here we do the same thing every season for ball pythons.
Pythons, yep.
And of course, all the card carrying PETA members, they get a little upset about that.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, do you have an import-export business for nutria pelts for fur clothing?
Who was
Fur
asking?
coats? I just was wondering.
Well, the problem with nutria is they're might gamey and a little. They're very similar to a wet ferret.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but if my lady wants to go out in the rain, tell you what, I'll do it, but only for those people living in Arizona, parts of California, and Mexico. But
Hey,
if
Steve,
you-
I got another question for you.
Sure, shoot.
Oh, you actually hung around.
Yep.
Ain't
heard the question yet.
How do you catch these nutria?
Got a thing.
There you
He's the same guy who was catching the iguanas here in Florida for his iguana meat business in California.
What do you wait till it gets cold enough for them to fall out of the trees?
They were doing that, but yeah, apparently certain parts of the world are big into iguana meat. And now that we're up to our elbows in them down here, they come out here from California and they catch them. It's a lot cheaper than buying them in wholesale.
I hear it's an aphrodisiac.
I don't know. Wouldn't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know either. All right, one more final story. This is kind of a callback a little bit. Remember alien stock out here in Nevada Way in 2019?
Yep.
Many moons ago.
Well, it appears that dates for alien stock 2020 appear
Jesus.
on website.
There was, 60 people out there? Now there's going to be 100.
Yeah, and it's funny because I pretty much said it'd be like 10 guys and a couple assholes out there or
Yeah.
something.
Close enough.
Close enough. So despite the low turnout for the first alien stock in 2019, they're going to up the ante by they may make it happen again. It's not in
They
stone yet.
might.
but they may.
We're doing the numbers.
Though the event was inspired by an event titled Storm Area 51.
Yeah.
As we saw that
Yeah.
weirdo. Event page urged people to go to the military set to see them some aliens. Page
Reckon we
went
might.
viral. As we know, millions of people indicated they were either interested or planned on the event, which basically he just got trolled by everybody in the world.
Yep.
The creator of the page, Mr. Matty Roberts, teamed up with a Connie West who owns the Little Alien to produce the event titled Storm Area 51. However, the two parties parted ways, with Roberts hosting an event in downtown Las Vegas. So he went from let's see them aliens to let's hang out on Fremont Street, which there's enough weirdos running around there that could be aliens. And instead, they're now embroiled in a lawsuit. So West decided to host the event on her own, named it Alien Stock. It attracted several thousand people, evidently. I don't know who did those numbers. To a remote town of Rachel near Area 51. However, this was only a fraction of the number of people who indicated they'd be attending the viral event and less than organized. So despite the associated problems with the event, it appears that it will happen again. According to the website for the Little Alien, the dates for Alien Stock 2020 are September 10th through 12th. So mark your calendars.
Alien stock needs to be a better name.
Yeah. Sounds like a bad cattle auction.
And Alien Palooza, maybe? Alien Fest?
I was
even?
really hoping your buddy JR was going to be here tonight because I wanted to broach a delicate subject, which would be easier to handle if it wasn't three white guys in the room.
You needed a diversity hire, too?
I did. I need a little diversity in the room. Have you guys seen the remake of the Jake Allstate commercial?
I have not.
Yes.
They took the original commercial with the husband and wife, but they changed Jake.
Yes, I know.
What was wrong with Jake?
In this one?
In the original one?
He was an older, middle-aged, out-of-shape white man.
Exactly.
But wasn't
Hey,
he...
now, I take offense to that.
Didn't he... isn't he in this one, too? Isn't he the one that pops out?
Well, the new Jake from State Farm is an African-American fellow, which I figured out why they did it.
I thought he was a Spanish guy. My coloring on my TV might be off.
Well, no, what it is it could be either or, but the reason they're doing it, apparently it's not going to be a one-off commercial. Jake is their new Flo.
Okay.
And so I guess in 2020 you don't want to have a white spokesperson, especially a white man spokesperson. And so now that they need their own version of Flo, the Jake from State Farm was a great promotion. And so they reshot the ending because now Jake is going to go be like Flo and he's going to do his own series of commercials. But I guess they spent so much money getting the name Jake out there.
Yeah,
that
they have to stick with it.
They want to stick with that name because of the name recognition, but they've changed the whole formula. And so I've seen other like previews to up and coming commercials, but yeah, that's their whole reason for doing that.
So we have a non-honky by the name of Jake.
Yep.
Huh. Very white name.
Yep.
It is pretty white.
They're not going to match Flo, though. Let's be honest.
That chick, I'm sure she makes more now, but like year 3, she was making like $500,000 a year. Wow. And that was before she was doing all the acting. That was when she was just doing the straight up spokesperson stuff. I'm sure she's probably making $1.5 million, maybe $2 million now. Now that they're selling costumes with her likeness and all that. But like when it was just started, she was making $500,000 a year doing that promotion.
Doing nothing, just commercials.
Yep.
Wasn't she originally a stand-up comedian?
I think she may have been.
And now she's Flo.
Yep.
Terrible name. But it works for her.
It sure does.
And I think that is going to do it for this episode of the Waterman and D-Train Show. Once again, OG5, we thank you guys so much for joining us and having a good time. Bill, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Gordon, where can people find you?
I can be found at Aegis1974 on Instagram. And you guys have a great week.
Bill, where can people find you?
Unsupervised03 on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And check out the show, man, every Thursday.
And I assume your podcast is available where all fine podcasts are available, much like this one, Apple Podcasts, Google Music, Stitcher, Spotify, and all those good places?
Definitely.
Thank you guys so much. And remember, if you never get out of your comfort zone, you'll never get out of bed. Go out, chase your dreams, find your new goals, and contribute to your community because one day you may wake up dead.